Here's a look at the Tuss Talk with Ty Patreon legendary status members Timothy Wisent, Thomas Nunley, and Will Watkins.
Good luck.
All right, QB2. Well, it is the most important backup position in all of football. The number 2 QB on the depth chart is the most important number 2 guy on any depth chart, anywhere in the country, especially in this day and age where the RPO is so prominent, right? Everyone is utilizing the RPO to some degree. Every quarterback is being asked to run the ball at least probably the most ever in the history of this sport. Last year, with KJ Jefferson running the ball about 16 times a game, we knew going into the year, and I remember having the conversations with Discord live chats that I would do there, live video chats, the live shows. I probably did some edited content last year around this time on this very subject. So here we are again. We're talking about how important the QB2 spot is, especially behind KJ Jefferson, a guy that runs as physically as he does, who wants to leave it all out on the field, blood, sweat, and tears. Every game, every series, every play. He wants to win every drive, and he shows that when he runs the ball. Therefore, yeah, his percentage or his likelihood of getting hurt is higher, and it's happened. We've seen it. Last year, Mississippi State, the Razorbacks are without KJ Jefferson. And what happens? Malik Hornsby, 8 of 17, 2 picks. He does throw, and he has some moments, right? He throws the ball somewhat effectively, 234 yards. But overall, he couldn't consistently piece together good drives that end up in points one way or another. 2 picks, too. Not good. Just 8 completions. Cade Fortin, 2 of 6, just 8 yards. I think that game had an impact on the staff and on KJ Jefferson, so much so that you fast forward just a couple of weeks later in Fayetteville against Liberty, and KJ knows in the back of his mind, I have to play, because if I don't, we're going to have that same shit happen that happened against Mississippi State. It's going to happen again because Liberty was a quality defense. Liberty was a quality football team. I think it forced KJ's hand. I don't know that I don't think the staff told him, like, hey, look, even if you're not good to go, you're going to have to play. But I do think in the back of their minds they knew, man, if we don't have KJ, we're in some trouble. And KJ plays, and you still lose. I think without him, you lose by a lot more. And then you fast forward to the LSU game just a week later. He doesn't play, and once again, the quarterbacks shit the bed. Malik Hornsby, 4 of 9 for 24 yards. Cade Fortin, 8 of 13, 92 yards. Here's the story about those two. Cade Fortin's not a backup quarterback in the SEC. He's not. And Malik Hornsby, we should have known when we were hearing reports about him lining up at wide receiver and learning routes. We should have known then. You're moving this guy out to wide receiver, and you're expecting, like, the expectations were that he was going to be the next guy up behind KJ. He was going to be the next guy up. You're molding him into being the guy, and you're moving him out to wide receiver. That brings us to this year. That brings us to what's going on with the backups this year. I do feel better about the quarterback room because Jacoby Criswell's not an experiment. I do think he's a capable QB2. How capable, we don't know yet. We don't know. Next year for 2023, that's going to be the question, because KJ may not run the ball 16 times a game, but he's still going to be KJ with that ball in his hands. Even if he cuts his carries in half, he's still going to be KJ with that ball in his hands. He's still going to run the way that KJ runs. He's still going to do the things that KJ does when he has the ball in his hands. QB2 needs to be ready to go one way or another, even if it's just a situation where you're blowing somebody out, just to build on the confidence of yourself and of the staff and the players around you. It's important that you're ready to go. And again, any offense, anywhere, everyone's saying the same thing. QB2's got to be ready to go. Even for the guys that drop back and throw the ball 45, 55 times a game, if your offensive line, if you're getting hit and sacked and all this left and right, then yeah, it's just as important. But I think especially it feels like KJ probably takes more hits than most. And he's such a physical runner. So, yeah, quarterback room needs to be further along than where they were at the last, especially compared to last year. You got a new guy, Dan Enos, who's in charge. We all know what he did in 2015, put together a great offense. We'll see what he does with not only the backups, but with KJ. But, you know, the whole point of this video was about QB2. I do feel better about the future of the quarterback room than I did a year ago. That's for sure. All right, special shout out to this show's sponsors, Direct Service Overhead, the Garage Door Company, and the Odd Soul Craft Bar and Pizzeria located on Emma Street here in Springdale. Special shout out to the Patreon supporters as well. All right, like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys on the next one.